What's up, my producer friends? Another monster here, anothermonsterproductions.com. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about studio monitors. Specifically, this video is for those of you who are interested in getting your first pair of studio monitors. And my goal with this is to tell you exactly what you need to know in order to make an educated decision when you purchase your first pair. And this can be kind of a daunting thing, especially because this is a really big investment for your studio and for your brand and for your production career moving forward to get the right pair of studio monitors. And I think it honestly, one could argue that it's one of the most important decisions that you can make when you're starting off and when you're getting serious into music production. So first of all, when should you get a pair of studio monitors? Now, if you're serious about becoming a producer and this is what you want to do, then you need to invest in yourself, and I would recommend getting studio monitors as quickly as possible. Now, obviously you need a laptop or a CPU, like some sort of computer, and then you need a DAW or DAW, digital audio workstation, which is basically your software that you're using to actually program or produce your tracks. And then the next thing you need is something to listen out of. And the reason why we use studio monitors as opposed to just any old speakers is because they have a flat frequency response, which enables us to mix in a way where we can get a mix that's going to translate into all the other speakers out there, stereo systems, phones. There's all these different types of ways of playback, and we want to optimize that. And that's why we use studio monitors as opposed to just regular old computer speakers or something like that. So I hope that makes sense. When it comes to, I kind of touched on this already, but when it comes to what you're looking for in a studio monitor is, as I mentioned, you want the flattest frequency response possible. So what you can do as you're researching this and as you're looking up various brands that you might be interested in getting, depending on your budget, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. But just type in such and such brand of speaker or of studio monitor, and then type in frequency response chart in Google. It should pop up. I think the companies are required to disclose this information. So you should be able to pretty easily find out, whatever speaker you're interested in, what the frequency response chart looks like, and then make an educated decision based on what that graph looks like. And basically, ideally we want super flat. Now, you may want to do a little bit more of your own research to sort of figure out the nuances of why maybe a speaker would decide to not go 100% flat, or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, flat equal good speaker. A lot of times you'll run into this thing where you get online, and I see this question all the time where people are like, what studio monitor should I get? And it's just like people throw out their favorite name brand, and I can guarantee you a lot of these name brands that people are naming are not flat studio monitors. Now, having said that, if you have a pair of these not flat studio monitors that I'm talking about, it's not the end of the world, because depending on your listening environment, depending on your ears and you getting used to your speakers in your space and how other professional tracks sound on it, and looking at your meters, you want to be utilizing all the tools at your disposal and sort of just getting to know your speakers and how they sound in your room. And that is probably really the most important part. So I guess that takes a little bit of the pressure off in making the decision of, finding the perfect speaker, because ultimately there's going to be sort of a learning curve after the fact anyway of how you sort of get used to listening to that and then replicate those type of mixes. Now, a lot of people will suggest that you go to some sort of store as far as like to listen to, try out various speakers. And, I think this is a good idea. I'm not gonna tell you not to do this, but the problem with this method is that you go to these spaces, a lot of times they're gonna be in a much different size room than your actual studio space. They're going to be very different acoustically. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Maybe there's going to be a lot of noise. The speakers might be tuned differently. There's just too many variables to just go to one of these places, test out some speakers, and be like, I like the way those sound. I'm taking those home. And again, you might actually pick the ones that are the least flat frequency, because that sounds better if the certain frequencies are boosted. So again, you know, don't necessarily go do this and rely solely on your ears. I'd recommend doing a little research beforehand and going in, maybe have like 3 or 4 speakers that you kind of know that you want to try out, and then listen to them and sort of compare the differences. I think there are also channels out there that maybe do like comparisons online on YouTube, so maybe you could check that out as well. So yeah, the last thing that I want to kind of touch on in this video is speaker size. Speaker size goes hand in hand with price a lot of times, but really it's not the price that you want to be working on or worried about. The size has more to do with your room size. So for example, if you are working in a smaller room, you probably want a smaller studio monitor. Now, as far as what specific speaker to get, I obviously can't tell you that, but I have the HS80Ms, which I love these speakers. They're probably a little bit too big for my current room that I'm in, but that's okay. They're basically the older version of the HS8s, which I highly recommend. Also the HS7s, HS5s, the Yamaha HS series are a great speaker. And also JBL makes a great sort of starting around that same price speaker. And there are a couple other companies out there who make really good speakers in this sort of $100 to $200, $250 price range per speaker. So you're looking at spending probably, you know, maybe $400 to $500 for 2 studio monitors, and then maybe a couple hundred more to 300 more if you want to get a sub as well, which, you know, maybe something that you're interested in doing. I know I prefer having the sub set up in my space. It makes a big difference for me when I'm producing. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, please go ahead, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Don't forget to hit the bell notification. That's going to let you know every time I release new videos like this one. Guys, if you have any other questions about anything studio monitor related, go ahead, leave that in a comment down below. I'm going to be doing my best to answer each and every one of your guys' questions about this. So leave that down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.